Hey mates, welcome to the Hitout. I'm your host, Phoenix Trinidad. If you are new here, this is Zero Hangers weekly AFL podcast where we talk about all things footy, and it's grand final week, biggest week of the year. So we have the prelims reviews, talk about Geelong and Hawthorn, Collingwood, Brisbane. We're going to do some wash-ups for North Melbourne and Essendon, just talking about how their seasons went. We've also got our predictions for the Brownlow. We play draft matchmaker for St Kilda, Carlton and Sydney. What would they want at the draft? And then, of course, we preview the grand final. We also do a little unboxing from our good friend at Footy Finds. So lots to talk about. Let's get straight into it. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Let's go. Okay. Mitch Keating, Adam Cellini. How are we? We good?
Very good.
I am coming to this podcast with a certain vibe today. I'm doing all positivity this week because
Unlike you.
I'm just in a really good mood. Footy is good. I love footy.
Footy's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, no complaints on my end.
Yep.
Some on mine.
Yep.
Okay.
Nah.
Good.
The two
All
better,
positivity is
the two better teams won, so it should be a cracker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
The two teams I tipped for the grand final.
Is it?
Yeah, but I had Brisbane going easy way and Geelong going the hard way. But we're back.
Like at the start of the year.
No. I tipped like the two New South Wales clubs. Like, don't worry about that stuff. Like, as of September,
Yeah.
when I knew what teams were actually in the
The
running.
finals bracket thing that we did.
Yeah.
I've completely.
Technically,
far
that's
away.
kind of my bracket's disaster. But the two teams that I thought would finish there are there. And I actually had tipped Brisbane at the start of September. I'm tipping the Cats now.
Yeah. Well, it's not about the journey; it's about the destination. That's what they say.
Yep.
Apparently.
Yeah.
Okay, so I feel like every week for the past like 5 weeks, we've started with merch
Gifts.
and adding merch
Yeah.
to the studio and this podcast. So we have some more.
We do. I think this is my way of making it up to you guys for the whole Christmas in
Being you.
July shabacle.
All right, yeah.
Obviously the birth of my daughter got in the way.
Yeah.
So we ended up doing it
Rude.
in September, and I figured we'll just keep giving gifts along the way. So shout out to Mitch at Footy Finds on Instagram, who's given us a mystery box
All right.
of vintage AFL
Do that. I'm gonna-
gear,
I like that
Close this
logo.
laptop.
apparel. If you don't know the page, Footy Finds on Instagram, footy.finds. Mitch runs that thing. He's got heaps, just about for every club. It gets sold pretty quickly as well. He has some pretty nice vintage clothing for just about anyone
Okay,
who's
this
into that kind of stuff.
box is too big, so we've got the logo in there. I'm gonna pull stuff out from the bottom.
Yeah, let's see what we got.
One at a time.
So we do not know what's in this box.
Don't
This is a
know.
mystery unboxing.
That's it. Hence the name.
What was the-
mystery box?
What was the brief that? Yeah, it makes sense. What was the brief that you gave Mitch?
I just said, do you want to collab on some stuff? And he was more than happy to send us some stuff.
Yeah.
That he had for I think a couple of the clubs that are playing this weekend. There might be a little bit more in there, but he's got some ripper. He's got a great catalog of vintage clothing.
Okay.
That includes tees, jumpers, sweaters. Those big wash jackets.
Item
and,
one.
and some Guernseys as well. And look, that's a beauty.
That's cool.
It's got the old VFL logo,
Really like
caricature cat, Geelong Cats, size XXL. That would be my size.
the logo's great.
I love that.
That's a ripper.
We'll have a video up on Instagram as well.
Actually, so what is the? Do you recognize this?
I've never seen that. I've never seen that cat before. I've seen similar tops with the
That's awesome.
kind of the old AFL logo. Sorry, it's got little approved.
Oh yeah,
stamp.
for
That's
the
cool.
audio listeners, it's
Yeah.
it's
We'll
the
have-
old cartoony. Looks like
I've never seen
Wile E.
that cat.
Coyote
Little
Yeah,
bit. There's a bit
with
of a-
Freddy
there is a
Krueger
bit of-
nails.
There's a bit of a Looney Tunes vibe to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll have a video up on Instagram for those that are listening in and not watching on YouTube. That's a great start. I might take that off.
Snag that.
Just hold on to that.
Okay. Item 2. Oh, this is cool.
What do we got here? Oh, that's mint. Lethal's Lions. That's just real basic.
2001.
I feel like it's a
Granny.
t-shirt say wear after they win the flag.
Yeah,
Like
I
they're
reckon
the
it
Sunday party.
Yeah.
Or it
after
might be
party.
like a pre-grand final, like prelim, after the prelim. The ones you kind of rock
Yeah.
for the week of.
Yeah.
That's very nice.
So
Lethal's Lions.
I would love to know, how he actually finds these.
Well, yeah, I was talking to him. He said some people will hit him up. They've got stuff to sell. So if you do have some vintage clothing you're kind of sitting around that you're not really getting much out of, you can probably get a pretty good price off Footy Finds. Mitch seems to have some pretty good deals.
This
and
is
he's
sick.
happy to pay a fair bit for
I'm
for
stealing
some good
this one.
stuff.
Oh yeah.
Just like one thing as well I was speaking to Mitch about, he had a Freo, like, the big raincoat kind of ones.
Yeah.
Sold for $1,100.
$1,100.
So yeah, you like people at home could have some decent clothing that they're not getting much out of.
Yeah, right.
Hit him up on Footy Finds. He's happy to negotiate, of course.
We have to address this Brisbane Bears
That is like that
retro.
Is the post.
That
It's
is so good.
Koala.
I was about to say that's
It's
a koala
pick of
bear.
the bunch.
Yeah, is that
Football.
so the whole thing with Brisbane, I learned this when we did our podcast about the Brisbane Bears, is that they basically just tried to rip off the mascot from Dreamworld with the koala back in the day.
okay.
But this is not that. Like, the mascot from Dreamworld doesn't look like
Scary.
that
It's
aggressive.
It's like nightmare
I'm trying
fuel.
to remember
Yeah.
the Dreamworld, man.
I think it was Dreamworld or one of the theme parks. But basically they were trying to like steal the brand and have an association.
We got more. Was that done?
Oh, there's actually
more.
yeah, there's more stuff. So
Jeez,
now
there's not.
we've got a retro
Oh,
beanie.
mint. That's so good.
Gee, you've been
I might actually take this home.
This is yeah, shout out to Mitch. This is great. Not you, the good one.
I was gonna ruin my hair for the day, but it's all right. It's the only
Oh.
video stuff I'm doing.
Yeah.
I'll pull some of these.
I've actually got something in
cards
store
up.
for us after this as well. The gifts don't stop here.
Some old school footy cards as well. So we have a
Hey.
Stephen Paxman
They Star or Scanlan.
retro Fitzroy.
Brad Scholl and David Mensch.
Brad Scholl. That's great stuff. Yeah, they're select.
Yeah, and then Footy Finds that.
Some
Actually, we
stickers.
might have to put some stickers on the on our laptops. But yeah,
That's
thank
cool.
you, Mitch.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Puts it very well. Tired of shit merch. For the very best vintage and retro merch, head to Footy Finds.
Tired of shit, Mitch.
So yeah, you can head to his Instagram. He's got a massive catalog there, and you can hit him up DMs if you've got something that he's selling that you want to buy, or if you've got something you might want to sell to him. Not finished there though.
Oh,
I've got something I've brought because I'm taking your advice.
Yep.
From the other week when you said I'm not enough.
Yep.
I've got to be out there. I'm a bit too well balanced.
Yep.
And if it's grand final week, I've got to get a little excited. So I brought in.
Oh my
Oh
god.
boy.
Okay.
I can't
Explain yourself to the audio
eyeballs are
listeners.
shocking. Is this supposed to go over my mouth? I don't know.
This is a
It's a-
nightmare.
It's like a what is it? A Catman mask, but it's like masquerade
Yeah.
vibes.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Real eyes wide shut. kind of thing.
This is like, I feel like you need to get cancelled for this somehow,
I
but
can't see for shit. But it's good, isn't it? Like, you wanted me to go full enough.
hey,
That's
The eye holes, the beanie's probably not a good idea, but the eye holes are shocking.
where did you? Okay, first of all, where did you get this from?
This is a real
And also, how many people have you murdered?
It's like a Halloween outfit.
I forgot. I don't know where it came from, but it was in this old like costume box. And
An old costume.
bada bing, bada boom.
This is actually like, because of the Nuffy thing. I feel like this is how I picture Mitch watching games at home.
yeah.
Like, just sitting on the couches. Can you just Can you just give us a meow?
No, no, no. This is enough out of my comfort zone. Like I said, it's
Are you
I'm
gonna
happy-
keep that
happy-
over the whole
you can,
pod?
You can dub something over the top. There you
Okay,
go. There you go. I'm not doing.
I'll say meow and you just mouth it.
All right, yeah.
Right, 3, 2, 1.
All right, let's get on to the show.
That's fucking insane. Okay.
Anyway,
okay.
that's yeah.
Well
Can't-
done.
Jesus, it is a bit scary, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
don't
it
know.
looks like. Have you seen that? What was that movie that came out? Friday Night at Freddy's, or Freddy's, that thing where it's like the animatronics come to
The
life
bears.
and it's a horror movie.
And the chicken and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
That's
that way.
kind of. It's just giving me
It's a
that
bit
vibe.
of that vibe, yeah.
Yeah.
The old video
Yeah.
game. It was a video game, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a video game, and then yeah, it's very predatory. So
There you go.
anyway,
That's given that.
go Cats.
Eat shit, wizard.
Well, should we should we speak about? May as well just talk about Geelong Hawthorn then.
Yeah, actually, to be fair, Nick Watson's goal was.
Nuts.
Yeah.
That was just one of those like moments in a game where you're like, shh, like they're on here. Like
Yeah.
it's just the worst timing for him to pull out something out of his hat.
Well, where did you watch it? How are you feeling beforehand?
I was 4 rows from the boundary line.
Ooh.
Yeah, it was nice. MCC, I got there about half an hour after the gates opened, and there was like thousands of people that were already rolling in and already had lined up. Like one of my mates had lined up since 3, and he got in nice and early. But I had a couple of mates who I was with who got there before 5. Managed to get a couple of seats near the row, and by the time I rolled in, they were giving out the little tickets that they give out in the MCC. So that was I've done well there, because they did end up being a lockout. Like the first time since 2007. I think there was a lockout for the MCC. So 99K, biggest crowd outside of a grand final. And you can certainly feel it. It was quite an occasion to be there.
Unreal.
The start was an absolute disaster. But yeah, they pulled themselves back. It was a fantastic performance. And I don't know what more I can say about Paddy Dangerfield, but
Oofed.
it's like, I can't remember him having a better performance. Maybe his first ever game for Geelong when he when he played against the Hawks. That was quite a vibe because obviously Cats had missed the finals the year before. You go and get one of the best players in the comp, and he just took it to a new level and won the Brownlow that year. So that was a performance that I can't really compare to in recent memory from him at least. But from a finals point of view, Dusty maybe had one or two of them, which is, pretty bloody good effort to have that performance on any September stage. So, Danger massive. Obviously, Bailey Smith in his second preliminary final. And Mark Blitzarves was huge once more. Tom Stewart stuff sucks. But I will say this, I don't think Mario Chol should have got banned at all.
No,
I couldn't figure it out. As someone who covers the tribunal pretty closely, this was... I understand. I'm not surprised by the 3-game ban, but I will be surprised if he doesn't get off.
Yeah.
It was
Was
so
that even
stiff.
paid a free kick for in the back?
I don't know. Honestly, I don't know.
Ooh, good
I
question.
can't remember.
Not too sure.
I haven't watched the game
But
back or anything.
the precedent was set when Paul Curtis got 3 weeks.
Yeah.
It was, again, tackling, pin the arms, in a very simplistic form. Performed a tackle, pin the arms, guy gets concussed, ruled out.
Yeah.
That's the criteria that the MRO clearly look for. But I agree with you, Mitch. I think they'll challenge and get off because there's a few other circumstances and factors that will play into his favour.
I'm actually kind of, in a weird way, I'm happy that they followed through with the precedent that was set because, it's just an absolute,
for the
It's just the wrong precedent.
cut the head off the chicken and let it go on the little turny.
That's literally how I think of it. Is it South Park?
It's a South Park.
Yeah,
thing.
with the kazoo and the
but if Hawthorn won that, I don't think he would have been given 3 weeks.
that's the same. Yeah.
Like,
For the conspiracy theorists out there, you've got something to think about.
If you've got something to play for, they're not going to give him that. Which but does he get off then? No,
I think he does. I think he does.
And there's more to it with Sam Butler contributing to the tackle as well.
Right.
And then Chol coming from a bit of an angle as opposed to Curtis was more directly in the back and he was the only one tackling.
Yeah.
Again, these are things that can work in your favour, but I think you probably shouldn't have got it. I don't think Curtis should have got it.
Nah.
3-week ban.
Curtis
but as you said, they've kind of followed through what they did earlier in the year and then they've done it again. So makes sense from that point of view, but I think all in all, it's probably both wrong.
Okay, so then who replaces Stewart? I haven't paid that much attention to Stewart this year.
So I think if Reed Stanley's fit, I think you bring him in. I think what that does is just free up. Sam DeConey goes back to the back line. But what it does really well is allows Mark Blitzarves to play a few more roles. He's not restricted to playing half a game or whatever it might be in the ruck. I did see someone mention maybe a tagging role in Harris Andrews could work. Obviously, it's worked in the past for a few clubs, and it worked for Collingwood on Grand Final Day a couple of years ago. So I don't hate that, and obviously if that might work, it might not. Chris Scott might have something else in his mind for Mark Blitzarves, but I like the idea of freeing up Blitzarves a little bit more, as good as he has been in the ruck the last couple of games. If it's not Stanley, it's probably Jed Buse, who's had a pretty good record against Charlie Cameron. Cameron's not playing as well as he has before, but he's pretty good again on the weekend. I think you just quell him. You have a bit more attention on Lohman from guys like Guthrie and Lawson Humphreys. So, unfortunate for Tom Stewart. He's already a premiership player, which kind of softens the blow a little bit, but such an integral part of Geelong's system. So that'll be tough to replace, no doubt.
So coming into this game, I was like, I love this matchup of coaches. So I love Chris Scott. Obviously, I think he's the best coach in the game. Sam Mitchell, probably I feel like he's going to end up being one of the best coaches in the game. But did you think this was one tactically, or was it just, Danger, blows it out?
Tactically, I think that goes underestimated. And again, I think Chris Scott probably still gets underestimated, although he's deemed probably one of the greatest coaches in the modern era. I think, again, pulls these rabbits out of a hat where it allows Geelong's players to flourish in their best positions. And obviously, the Mark Blitzarves call, using O'Shea Mullen and Mark O'Connor in various roles as well, and then allowing Dangerfield and kind of those cherry on top players, the Smiths, the Dangerfield, the Holmes, to do what they do to the extent. Like even Atkins on Newcombe. Newcomb's 4 from 4 finals as the number 1 rated player. You send someone like Atkins to him, it almost stops their whole midfield power. So I think, as you said, Mitchell is kind of getting there from a coaching perspective, but Scott's already there, which is why that anything that opposition clubs have thrown at him, especially in the final series thus far, he's had an answer for. And obviously that leads him to the grand final.
Yeah. Some of the kind of keeping clubs guessing with their tagging roles. Like obviously the McCluggage Rainer one caught a few by surprise. I think they went with Wizard, and who was it? Was it Weddle? Was the other one that they run tags for? It'd be interesting this week. We'll get into the preview a bit later in the show for the grand final, but obviously they know what happened with McCluggage, and obviously Brisbane know what happened with McCluggage. So it's going to be interesting if the Cats go straight to it again with Mullen, or do they kind of switch something up because Brisbane might be preparing for the McCluggage tag. So that's going to be fascinating. But they haven't lost one yet, the Cats, in their kind of tagging choices, which is going to bode well for them this week.
Yeah. Closing thoughts on Hawthorn?
Successful year again. Very early in their rebuild from what we deem under Sam Mitchell. So obviously they jumped the gun probably last year, made the semi, did it again this year in terms of a prelim. And for parts of that game, they really tested Geelong, which I still think is probably the best team have been most of this year. Just more consistent. Like obviously Collingwood and Adelaide have led on top of the ladder, but Geelong have just been kind of flying under the radar, which is ironic given the fact that they're always in the radar. But yeah, in terms of Hawthorn, I think doing very well. Obviously targeting some other rival players quite heavily, so that you would think they'll just improve in terms of a list perspective. But they've got the right coach there, they've got the right pieces around them, and they probably need a couple star players, especially through that midfield, that will just elevate them to probably premiership favouritism.
I don't know what they get out of Jack Gunster next year. Like 70-goal season is nuts, but I don't know if he can back that up again. Positive season. They went a step further than they did last year. I think it came down around 24 when they lost to Brisbane. Like they win that game and they're finishing in the top 4, and it might be an easier September for them. But I think they certainly liked that momentum. Not a big break for them with the extra week off had they won a qualifier, had they made one. So positives for them. You know, it was only 2 years ago they were down the bottom of the barrel. So finals last year and winning a couple finals this year is a nice step up for them for sure.
Yeah. They've turned themselves into a destination club once again, which they were for...
Always have been,
Yeah.
I feel like.
But there was always a quick period there where everyone's like, I don't really want to go. Then they got these kind of fringe players like the Marbio Charles and brought Gunston back and Ginnivan. And now they're like, now we potentially go. We were going after Oscar Allen, the Harley Reeds, the Zach Butters, Zach Merritts, Christian Petrarcas of the world. So
I just think the longer we can delay Hawthorn being a premiership prelim winning team, the better. But I feel like this year has been most obvious that finals experience is what you want to have. And I think and specifically winning finals experience. Like Hawthorn, where were they last year? They won the opening elimination.
Beat Bulldogs and lost to Port Adelaide.
And then lost to Port,
Who also had experience in the finals, to your point.
Yeah. Cool. Great game. Shout out to everybody that's turned out in Victoria this week, because the next one, Collingwood Brisbane, was again, 95?
96.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah,
that's crazy numbers.
Yeah.
For one Vic club, one like Fitzroy following's strong for the Lions, but that's still a pretty good turnout for both.
So this one, this was my wedding, not my wedding. I was a groomsman for this one. Shout out to Mario and Daniela. Congratulations on a beautiful wedding. I was a groomsman. I didn't run into that dilemma that I had last week on how often can I check my phone, because I gave my phone to my friend's wife at about 11 a.m. and I didn't get it back until about 7:30. Right. So the way I watched this game as it was happening was just like getting little whispers from people telling me.
Did you do that on purpose, or was it kind of like I've got so much stuff to do, just take it? Like
I very much did it accidentally.
Yeah.
I was like, I'll get it back straight after the ceremony, but then with the chaos of a wedding party and everything, you just lose it. Yeah. And then I was just like, I'll just embrace it. I'll let people tell me, and then I'll watch the replay and stuff. So, how did you find this game, Aiden?
Disappointing. No, I think just the better team won clearly. I thought Collingwood would have been able to hold firm a bit more so, but I think Brisbane just wanted it more. And with the injury to Scott Pendlebury, and everyone knows how much of a champion he is, I think it did play a major role. And again, not necessarily what he had with ball in hand, but organising everyone else and actually allowing other players to play certain roles. So obviously, still Cyberman was forced into more of a run with role on McCluggage and or more of a leadership role, which again, not that he can't do it, but again, you take out someone like Pendlebury, it just flips everything on its script.
I don't think he tagged much after the Pendles change, did he? Like he was
Not
supposed to
long
start
after.
on McCluggage, and then Pendles got injured, and I don't really think they held the tag for long at
Yeah,
all. So
and-
that obviously cost them
Yeah.
in that regard.
And then with that, you replace a 420 gamer with a
Mm.
mid-season recruit from this year who, again,
Pretty good.
held his
It
own.
was good.
But when you're talking about prelim finals and small margins, although the game ended up blowing out to 5 goals, they're the things that can really tip the game in certain teams' scale, which I think Brisbane did. And they just capitalised. I think Collingwood were kind of slack on defence, especially in key moments, and Brisbane just made sure that they punished the Pies wholeheartedly, which again led to their 3rd consecutive grand final appearance.
Yeah.
And deservedly so. Like again, they did finish 3rd. They were still one of the best teams again this year with a few fluctuations, but yeah, this final series, maybe bar, obviously, they smashed Gold Coast, and again, you got to beat a team on their day. They've proven they can do it at the G. They've proven they can do it against Collingwood, and hopefully, now they're might prove it against if they can do it Geelong next week.
Hopefully not.
Yep.
Jamie Elliott infringed.
It was there.
Yes, but if you look at the slime, you go, you hit the ball again. You come front on, even if you have your eyes on the ball, you're taking out the marker and the forward as well. The forward always gets a look at the ice cream every day of the week. You'd assume that then it would be, but again, I think the umpire wouldn't say it's wrong because you could probably argue that it's by the book, legal, what Starcevich did. But again, just the state of the game and what's been paid in the past, in terms of following that precedent, you'd think that's a free kick.
That's a perfect example of why I feel so sorry for umpires. Like if they paid letter of the law by the book, it's still wrong.
Yeah.
They can't win here. Like I thought you got the ball. Body contact's fine if you're getting the ball and your eyes are only on the ball. Like if it's a marking contest and they're 2 by the side and all you've done is punch the ball and you've made body contact, as long as your eyes are on it, and if it's 2 guys underneath the ball, that's fine. Just because he was running directly into Elliott, he still got the ball. I letter of the law, it was play on, but it's one of those ones where I've seen that paid before.
Yeah.
I think
Which is stupid because like you just want them to pay the right call and get away from, if it's made the wrong call, keep making the wrong call. But I can understand frustration.
I think it's also the front on contact, which impedes Elliott's ability to mark. So if Starcevich is half a step back, you'd assume Elliott would actually mark that and then get carried on with it. But with the fact that he judged it and had eyes on the ball, but still made front on contact, which is probably why the umpire was caught in 2 minds. And then would rather not make a big call and let the game play out as opposed to determining a shot on goal.
Yeah.
And especially in finals, they'll tend to go the former in terms of allowing players to just do their thing.
Yep.
Which has seen some calls absolutely missed, and this might have been one of them.
I've got something. How about Tim Membry just has a shot on goal?
I was just about to ask
We love
that
Tim on the
because,
show.
Yeah.
We're big Tim Membry fans here.
Latrobe
But
Valley
mates.
boy.
Yeah, he's a
Yeah,
trail Rowgan.
Dragon.
Your friend.
Yeah. I was just about to ask that because I think Kate McCarthy brought it up and I was like, that, and he was playing pretty well.
Yeah, I said at the time, just what are you doing?
Just take it back.
Like that
Yeah.
even the kick itself to Elliott was no good, but the
Yeah.
option to kick it to Elliott was even worse.
Yeah,
And
because
he was 30 out directly in
the
front.
kick was, because that's such a hard kick too, because you have to pop it up in order to get it over the, the pressure player.
What you need to do is kick it over Elliott, so he's the one that's protected.
Yeah.
On the off-ball side.
But even then, like he was on the ground, he quickly jumped up and tried to kick it off the back step. Again, those kicks are 1 in 20 you hit perfectly.
Yeah.
And again, this is talk about the margins. Brisbane will probably deservedly should have been ahead in that. Well, further ahead in that game.
It didn't make a defining difference, but it would have been a 1 kick game.
Yeah.
So it's
And as a
whatever.
Collins, I refuse to allow one moment like that. To
Yeah,
go, oh, that's the last.
good.
I have to say, every time I listen to Craig McRae in a press conference, I just get so frustrated at how much I like him and how much it makes me like Collingwood. And I'll be saying this until I guess the end of his tenure there. But just such a great mentality for and I can't dislike Collingwood, and that makes me so mad.
Not whilst he's there. That's for sure.
who are you going for now? Like who are you going for last week?
I actually have decided that I'm going for Geelong now.
Yeah,
because
get it.
I'm not wearing
Wear
this.
it. Come on.
All right. So I have decided that
Actually, it's so bent.
I have decided that I'm getting on the Geelong train. My late father was a Geelong supporter, although I have seen them win so many premierships. But also don't like Brisbane. I know I was going to say this is a positive podcast, but I can't stand the idea of seeing Dane Zorko win another premiership. And I like everything about Brisbane except for Dane Zorko. But, I just don't hate anyone in Geelong, and I just respect them a lot. So I'm going to go for Geelong.
Who's our least like? Like, usually Dangerfield's the least likable guy. But if you're pro Danger, then it's probably opens up a little bit.
Yeah. I can't see. You're right. This is really hard.
I think it's supposed to be flatter. But
yeah, right.
It's been creased.
And especially
folded.
not on my wide head.
Yeah.
Anyway.
There you go. Oh, that looks good.
Meow. Let's go, Catters.
That was a real kitten mittens.
All right.
For the Always Sunny fans. All right, what do we...
The Brisbane side of things.
Yeah, should probably talk about the
I was
Brisbane.
going to say...
Gallop.
Gallop.
Good Lord.
Like, they're young guys that are coming through. Ty Gallop's kind of running that same narrative as Logan Morris last year. He kind of came in late, came out of nowhere, late pick. I mean, Logan Morris was obviously a little bit higher. But
I think you might have seen this, but a little fun thing about Ty Gallop. He was pick 42 in last year's draft. No one was expecting him to get probably even taken in the national draft at all. He was the only, out of every teenager that got drafted last year, was the only one that didn't get a combine invite. So everyone else tested or was at least invited to test. So he was a big surprise. Like in the draft room last year, where all the journos were when his name came through, that was like, whoa, like pick 42, even though it's not that early in the draft, that was really early for him. The club that bid on him was Geelong. Like the Cats were just like, we like this kid, and I don't think anyone else really rated him.
Yeah.
But it was
So quite interesting.
I'm so
quite
happy then that you just didn't get another random good player from nowhere.
Yeah, we bid on Errol a few years ago, like pick 30, like no one else, like. But anyway, the point was that like Brisbane had already had to cough up a bit for Levi Ashcroft and Sam Marshall, and I think the Cats would have been somewhat confident there was a chance they could have got Ty Gallop, just given where Brisbane's points had to sit on night one for those other two boys. But I think the Lions were said post draft that they were always kind of keen to get Ty in, and the Cats, Stephen Wells said he really liked the big tall forward after they lost Hawkins. So
that's unreal.
Little tidbit for this week that the Cats were keen to get him and just obviously couldn't because of the draft.
I'm probably thinking too far ahead now in terms of what our trade content is going to look like, but just based on that, I know what my through line is for this trade period, and it's that both Brisbane and Geelong should have trade bans. They're not allowed to trade in players or draft because there's too much talent.
Too late.
And
it's not like
well.
It's not like Brisbane are getting Oscar Allen and Sam Draper and Jordan Ridley.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Branham. Neil.
Yeah.
Look at Neil.
Jared Bea's the first one. Shoulder done. Oscar McInerney last year did the same thing, so you'd assume that's his year done.
But can you play Lockie Neal?
Well, that's the thing. So then that begs the question. They have to bring someone in.
Yeah.
And Neil is...
Lockie Neal.
You ask him, he's playing.
Yeah, but like you take it out of his hands. Have to take it out of his hands.
So you witnessed Max Holmes a few years ago.
Yeah.
Passed all the tests, did he not?
We saw what happened with Logan McDonald last year. Was it Logan McDonald last year?
Yeah, played.
And couldn't get near it.
And
Sam Reid 3 years ago. Hasn't worked in the favour of clubs. Obviously, back in Geelong's triple premiership era, I think it was Max Rook had was it oxblood or something? Got injected with oxblood, and Stevie Johnson pretty much lived in a hyperbaric chamber.
2011.
For a guy, Stephen May played the 2021 grand final with a hammy off his bone.
Yeah, that's
so
they can work. They can work. Conspiracy theory. Again, I don't think he's ever been a chance to play. Not even since he got injured. I don't think he's ever been a chance to play. I think it's just the Lions wanting to keep some part of the tail this week that there's a chance that Geelong might have to prepare for Lockie Neal.
Yeah.
So this is what I think the Cats did last week with Reece Stanley. I don't think Reece Stanley was ever going to play on Friday night, but they name him emergency, and that makes the Hawks and their coaching group have to just spend a little bit extra time on what if they bring in Reece Stanley.
Yeah.
I like that.
And now about the bounce. So for the Cats, they're going to be thinking all week. They could name him on Thursday and pull him out Friday or Saturday, but it'll just have Geelong having to sweat and take a little bit of their entire game plan, a slice of that out, just to focus on what if not Lockie Neal plays.
And that's a big game plan, though, to combat Lockie Neal.
Yeah, it's
not like Sam Reid or Logan McDonald. It's Lockie Neal.
He's got one calf. Like he's played a couple of games before where he's just looked absolutely battered. Like he's had his ankles are shot, but he's had great games while carrying injury before. So I wouldn't rule it out that even if he couldn't play and we put him on the field, he'd have a great game. But I've got this conspiracy theorist tinfoil hat theory that he's never been a chance.
Even if they do play that, I don't think it's going to phase Chris Scott
I
at
think
all,
I think
'cause
the Cats are the best.
fortress.
Yeah, the
in
Cats
his
are
brain.
prepared for whatever, and if like they might prepare for with him playing, and if he doesn't play, so what? They lose Lockie Neal. Like,
I think Chris Fagan would fall for little tricks like that just because he's old.
I think
and
almost
he has like dementia brain.
I think almost everyone would bar Chris Scott. He's probably the one who started it, the catalyst of all these mind games.
Yeah.
I mean, Geelong this year pulled out how many players within 24 hours of his starting game?
They were all very warranted. Thank you.
Oh, of course, if you ask Geelong.
Yeah, exactly.
Actually, no, I do like the idea of
But I like,
like what Bevo does when he puts his team lists out. He just puts like players just everywhere.
To be fair, he did play like Josh Dunkley in the ruck. Zane Cordy was like their premiership centre before.
Yeah.
Like that did happen.
Yeah.
But he does like Sam Mitchell was pretty good at it. He just didn't care. He's spoken about it before. He doesn't care what the team sheet looks like. Like he knows that's just the players that are playing. Could put him in alphabetical order. He didn't care.
Yeah.
Just like he's not taking the mickey. And people that read into team lists when they're named and all the positions, like just forget about it.
Yeah. All right, we've sort of drifted into grand final preview stuff, but that's for later. Let's talk about North Melbourne. So we're doing a wash up on every team. What did they do right? What did they do wrong? North.
Well, they finally got their veterans in that they did get to work. So Luke Park had a pretty good year. Jack Darling had a pretty good year. Caleb Daniel was serviceable. But in previous years, they'd struggled to actually utilize the guys that they picked up from other clubs to actually help steer the club in a better direction. And that's not to say that they've drastically improved in 2025. But you can see what they're trying to do in terms of game style. They just don't have the cattle to do it at the moment. But they've got a good midfield, decent enough forward line that they can work with and also attract players too. And obviously their back line is hopeless at the moment.
Yeah, they're at the point of their rebuild where they know who their top quality guys are and they're reliable household names, but they're at the point where they're getting, or they need to start getting more of these kind of bargain, like the picks that are actually working in their favour. They're not just having to rely on top 10 picks to lead them. Like Toby Pink had a great year for a guy who was picked up out of delisted free agency. Like that's a big tick for them. Paul Curtis wasn't near a top 10 pick. He was, I think, picked in the 30s. He had might have been an All-Australian year if it wasn't for suspension and some, I can't remember if he got injured, but probably just got limited here and there throughout the year. So that's an important junction for them in this rebuild is not having to rely on all these top-heavy selection. Like Nick Larkey's been a star for a while though through this whole rebuild, even though he's picked 70 odd. So I think for them it's going to be really critical that they start with their recruitment and their development, finding these bargain selections, and particularly this year, this coming off season more than any, because they don't have their first round pick. So it's going to be quite fascinating to see how that unfolds. It was looking pretty awful for them at a point when Richmond ended up with 5 wins, and North Melbourne were, I think by the time when Richmond got their 5th win, North Melbourne were on 3 or 4, and the Kangaroos hadn't had a 5-win season since 2019. And if Richmond in one rebuild window go from shocking to a 5-win year, and it's taken North Melbourne 6 years to do that, that would have been pretty awful for them. Still not great given that they only finished 2 points ahead of the Tigers and still finished on level wins. But I thought that probably hurts a little bit when you look at how another club can just bounce, who's won 3 premierships and 2 premierships since your last 5-year window, 5-win window. So there's certainly issues for them. Can't look away from that, but they're finding some good players in their list that weren't from the top of the draft, and I think that's going to be really important for the next year or two as well.
So top line behind schedule or on time or ahead of schedule? They're definitely not ahead of schedule.
No, they're behind. Like
They've got to be behind.
They should be. Like it's not like people were expecting them to be up there this year. Few people were, but not like consensus was they would be challenging. But it's hard to see them take that step again when the clubs have finished ahead of them. Essendon maybe they could go backwards, but they had an unprecedented, terrible year on the injury front. So I think if the Bombers probably might stay ahead of them. The D's, you said they should be improving next year under a new coach. Whether that happens or not sure. Port Adelaide, new coach, might be still better than North Melbourne. St Kilda is certainly going to be better than they were this year.
Port Adelaide don't really have a new coach, but
I like, you know what I mean? It's a fresh start, some fresh game plans.
Yeah.
I'd like to think. Carlton, maybe they still finish ahead of North, so it's it's one of those ones where when you're at the bottom of the comp at the moment, it's so hard to get above the clubs that are ahead of you.
Yeah. Well, that's my thing is like they're like every year they've been locked in as a bottom 4 team. I don't see them climbing out of the bottom 4 team lock area yet.
No,
like
not
next
yet.
year, I don't think they're going to be bottom 4. They might be, top of the bottom 4, but I just can't see them.
I can see Port and Melbourne. Don't really see Carlton dropping into the bottom 4, but I can see Port Adelaide or Melbourne. I think Essendon might be okay, just if they avoid an injury list like this year.
Yeah,
I think they might be okay.
Okay,
but yeah,
let's move to Essendon then for the wash up.
Tough.
What did they do right?
They broke the record for the amount of debuts from a non-expansion club site.
Don't think they had a choice though.
Well, that's a tick. And the way this off season for them is unfolding, it seems like it's gone from bad to worse with a few players wanting to leave. So
it was honestly going so well. Like the year of obviously just hammered by injuries, and that was the whole story. But then within like a 2-week period, it's like it just went down the shitter.
I think there's still a disconnect between what they think they can do and what they probably should be, and live in a reality which is what they can achieve, and that is just you need to then figure out a way to rebuild or regenerate, because they assume that they're a finals contending side, and the fact that yes, the amount of injuries were unprecedented, but they're not a club that can be vying for finals. And yes, they might steal a few games here and there or contend against the top teams, but all in all, they are not, and they haven't been for many years. And I think that sitting in that middle bracket of mediocrity kind of gives them false hope that, okay, we're one player away, which is why they go heavy on free agency or a couple draft picks here. But the fact is that they just don't have the talent.
Yeah. For me, they see, like when you're in that mid-table sort of area, when you're celebrating, like if you made finals, they'd be celebrating just making finals. But really, you want to be winning a flag.
Yeah.
I don't see them as that, like being able to make that push into flag territory.
Like a lot of those clubs, like the St Kildas and Western Carltons, they're like, yeah, as you said, they kind of
just want to make finals.
Praise the fact that this is awesome. We're playing September footy, but then you got the top 5 clubs that go, you know what? If we don't win a flag, it's a bust of a year. So Collingwood look at this now. We lost a prelim, or even Hawthorn go, no, we've essentially failed. Whereas clubs like that, like, we missed out in finals. So there's a definite difference in terms
of
ways
to look at it. And there's 100 ways you can look at a season review for AFL clubs when you talk about development and the debutants and some of the guys they uncovered through either their own drafting or the mid-season draft. There's some positives there. Like they were 9th on the ladder at round 9. Like that's almost a midway mark, and I think they were 10th. So let's have a look here. They were 10th in round 13. So 11 rounds to go. Obviously, they go on a 13 loss streak because of the injury toll, and some bad performances in there as well. It's not like their side was deplorable, or they were coming up against a top 8 side every week. Like that game against Richmond was ugly. And there was enough for either side there to win that game. So it's a tough year. I won't speak for Essendon fans. I'm happy for them to comment if they don't agree with me here. But I think a part of me thinks that they would rather miss finals than make finals and lose.
Yeah.
Just like, obviously a finals win for them will mean so much. But then a year of making September and losing might be worse for them than finishing 9th. But, I think at least you want to make finals just so you know you can be there, and then the next year ideally you can win.
Well,
so
until all this merit stuff happened, I thought they were they were pretty satisfied. Most people were pretty satisfied. Like I was speaking to my Bombers mates, they were happy with the direction of the club. They're happy with Brad Scott, and then all the merit stuff pops off, and then you're like, okay, we need to get rid of all these coterie groups, and they have too much influence. It's just a bit of a shit show. But okay, it is a shit show. Ridley leaving was always going to be hard for them, for their fans. Yeah. And Draper seemed like he was out the door already, but Merritt's just like a cool blow that doesn't compare. Merritt wins BNF.
Well, likely.
Yeah. What do you do? How do you even position that as a club? Like, what does the social media manager put as the caption when you post the photo of Merritt winning the BNF?
Congratulations to Captain Zach Merritt for winning. Like they can't be much. It was funny, I do know clubs recycle some of the AFL.com articles on their websites, and then they share them to socials. And it was so funny that they shared like something about Mason Redmond speaking to AFL.com about the Zach Merritt situation.
Yeah.
Like the club's just like, oh, yeah, like hear about one of our players and here's how upset he is with one of our other players. I'm like, why would you post this? Like,
Yeah.
Obviously, yes, everyone knows the whole situation, but just, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, they also retweeted an Age article.
Is
the club socials turning on Zach Merritt as well?
Oh, 100%. Like
I-
if you've seen, I mean, you've been following it more than I have, but the club is clearly putting out very strong messaging to Zach Merritt. And like, I don't know if like Bombers fans are on board with that.
We're putting up 3 leaders of the club
Yeah.
in terms of media opportunities to speak about it, essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah, they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
And they're either trying to push him out or create a stance that, we're not going to kind of cop that.
Yeah. But I think
it's
it's
what Merritt's trying to do.
like at the very least, it's very clear he won't be the captain next year. Like he can't do that.
Yeah.
Can't possibly.
Yeah. Okay.
I do see him though returning, but that's another story for another day.
Yeah. Brownlow is tonight.
Yeah, we'll
By the
make this-
time this comes out, we
Won't have long.
will probably be in the middle of it.
Make this quick. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. And we did say on last week's show we might have a live stream.
Yeah, unfortunately that won't happen this week.
That's okay. We'll
We'll do another live stream at some point for something.
Yep.
All right, who you got?
Noah Anderson, Nick Dacos tie.
Jordan Dawson.
Jordan Dawson? Oh, I don't care.
You couldn't give one name.
There's no clarity.
No, it's just like it's not.
There's 6
like,
names, 5 names you
there's-
can choose from.
I think that's why, because there's no like sort of clear cut winner.
That's why you see, if you just choose, you can't be wrong, even if you're wrong.
Nah, but it's just like I really don't care too much about the Brownlow anymore.
who'd you
I know
like
I'm
to
trying to be. This is not a positive podcast, but I don't think it means as much to me anymore when none of the Melbourne players are in contention.
That's what Mitch just said. If it's not Clary or Petrarca, then
Yeah. Nah, I think I can tell you who I would like to see win it. I would like to see Noah Anderson win it or Raoul, but I know they're going to steal votes off each other. I think for our sake, content-wise, I think Bailey Smith winning the Brownlow would be unreal. But I think it's probably Dacos. Like most likely it's got to be Dacos.
Third time lucky.
Yeah, you're not even going to have people really stealing votes off him. You're probably going to get Josh Dacos giving him votes because they're brothers.
They've done that before.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it was a Queen's birthday game.
I think Naz is probably too. Actually, it'll be Dawson or Dacos.
Okay.
Has to be.
There you go.
Naz is,
Naz
he'll
is
win
a
it next year.
chance. Don't hate it.
Yeah, but yeah,
He'll come home
Anderson-
strong.
yeah.
Same as Bond.
Dacos or Dawson. No one's taking votes off Dawson.
Rising star as well tonight. Quick.
Langford.
Reed.
I knew that. As in, you reckon Reed wins it, or you want Reed to win it?
Both.
Yeah, I think Levi wins it, and I'm okay with that. But I wouldn't mind seeing Reed or Curtin.
I think Curtin's dropped off a little bit in the last half.
Yeah,
of
I
the
don't.
year.
I don't think he wins it. Same with I think Reed is a good chance. It's Reed or Ashcroft in my eyes,
Yeah.
and I'm happy with one of them anyway.
I think Ashcroft wins it, but I would like Langford to win it. But he won't. Okay. This segment brought to you by getdrafted.com.au, Australia's #1 selection for local footy talent. Post your player profile now. Get noticed, get challenged, getdrafted.com.au. This is Draft Matchmaker. We're doing 3 teams, and you're going to give us a match for the pick that they have.
Yep.
We're going to start with St Kilda, whose first pick is 7. Who wouldn't want to come to St Kilda at this point? But what do we think St Kilda needs?
What do they like as
It
well?
seems like
Yeah.
everyone's going there. They've been screaming out for a bit of a star midfielder. They've got Max King waiting in terms of a key forward, so you could probably hold off on the key forward stocks if there's one available. And also, like maybe another dashing defender. I think Naz has proven that he's going to be that star midfielder, which again, if you then allow him to go into the midfield, you probably bolster your defensive line. If not, then you go midfield and leave Naz down back. But I would assume one of those 2 positions is probably where they'd look.
Yeah, I think a star midfielder for them will be interesting. Like Ollie Greaves might be a nice fit, but whether he fits a Ross line system is probably another question. He probably doesn't have, I reckon, that pace that they probably still want, that polish. So Sam Grill might be the pick for me, whether he's available to them or not. I think Richmond and Essendon will both like Sam Grill, but quick, can throw him at half back, might be a nice kind of flexible option for Naz and for Jack Sinclair. Pacey, pretty powerful
Is he
as
big
well.
body?
No, he's not that big.
Yeah.
No, he's
Well,
he's
don't
zippy.
really
He's
need
zippy.
a big body midfielder.
But that's the thing. Like
They got like Windhager and
I don't think Ross really wants another Jack Steele, Brad Crouch.
He wants. He likes running types.
Yeah.
And again, the game's going that way. I mean,
Yeah.
and you got Darcy Wilson, who's getting a bit bigger. He's probably going to come into that
Yeah.
hybrid.
So Sam Grill out of the Oakley Chargers would be one. Josh Lindsay maybe, but he's probably more of a halfback than a midfielder, at least at AFL level. And he's a great kick, but there probably is some concern about what else is he other than just a great kick. So I think that's what maybe not exactly what Naz was when he came through the draft, but he was a headline act because of his kicking. And you can certainly mould those players into something else. So Josh Lindsay maybe, but Sam Grill probably ahead of him and Ollie Greaves.
Yep. Carlton, first pick 35.
Yeah, well, this will all change a fair bit because they'll have the DeConing compensation and the Silvani compensation. But on top of that, they'll also have to match a bid for Harry Dean, which could come in as early as pick 5.
Yeah.
But what would
do
you
they
like
need?
to see them draft? Harry Dean being a key defender, so we can probably take that out of the equation. What would you like?
Another
Probably need to
midfielder.
replace the Koning.
Well, yeah, I think with Ruckman, I think we've spoken about this on the pod. You probably trade them in, give them a few more years at a rival club, and then get them in. They're looking at Ned Rees and Liam Reedy from other clubs at the moment. But yeah, I mean, Jagger Smith obviously missed this whole year through an ACL. He's going to be that zippy kind of midfielder. But with Cripps, Hewitt, Chero, they're all the same kind of player.
Style, yeah.
In terms of contested balls, and I think kind of have that wingman who can kind of slip into the midfield as well is probably an option that Carlton need outside of obviously Harry Dean, who's going to join them in November.
Yeah, Yevon Philippou, so Mateus' little brother, might be a nice one. Can probably start a little bit outside, come inside, has no issue with a contested game, has looked pretty solid already against senior bodies. Not that I think they'll be relying on him straight away for games, but I kind of like, I'm coming around to that selection. In saying that though, that's not going to be a pick 30 option for them. That's going to be more of that maybe Silvani compo pick end of first round. Maybe they could use the DeConing pick. Some people do rate him as a potential top 10 selection, Yevon. So that's an option. If we do want to kind of push a little further back, let me have a think here about who might be. Blakewood Sean Benier out of SA, maybe one that they might like. Jack Dalton out of the Sandy Dragons, another they might like. But I wouldn't mind them seeing if they can squeeze themselves, and they should be in that pick 20 to 25 range with the Silvani selection. Harley Barker and Matt Leray, 2 proven wingmen for South Australia this year. Leray can certainly go inside, and he showed that this year. Barker a little bit on the outside. So there's a couple there for them.
So just going back to the Silvani selection. So saying end of first round.
I think ends of first round.
That's about right.
Yeah.
It's a good money deal for over 4 or 5 years, but the issue is his age. And that they do to factor that into what kind of compo you should get for a 28-year-old.
Okay.
29 next year. So, I think DeConing will be where their first selection would have been, which is pick 7, 8, or would be pick 9. And Silvani will be at the end of first round.
Okay. I haven't really thought about it too much, but yeah, sounds about right.
Yeah.
Sydney, pick 9.
For them, I think more key position player at either end. Pending the Charlie Curnow trade potential. Obviously, he's still contracted at Carlton, but the Swans are into him. But again, for periods of time, you got Logan McDonald, who's missed basically the whole year. If you know, he did. Joel Marty as well was injured. They struggled up forward and just have that kind of beacon in terms of a tall forward, but then also down back as well. They relied on Aaron Francis a fair bit, Tom McCartan as well, and Dan Rampy, who he seems to be playing tall. When
has always kind of had to play a little tall. He plays some good matchups against small forwards, but he always has to play tall here and there.
Yeah, so I think those two, again, kind of those multi-rolled players, those utilities.
Yeah, key position talent, and as we've mentioned, I think just about every kind of get drafted matchmaker we've done, the key defender stocks are probably a little thin. You're probably looking at the second round or later, unless you're Carlton, who have Harry Dean. One player from the other end of the field might be Aidan Schubert out of South Australia. Tall ruck, forward ruck, probably hybrid, and was absolutely fantastic at this year's championships. I think he kicked 10 goals and played very high up the ground, helping the ruck, good work rate. Certainly will be one that the Swans might like. And then Mitch Marsh, his partner in crime for South Australia up front. He kicked the most goals of this year's champs. A bit smaller though. I think he's 191 centimeters. Can play a little taller, but I think when you talk about the new age key position talent, he could be coming up against 200 centimeter defenders, which might prove a bit of a headache for him. You want him as that third tall option, which might fit well. You got McDonald, Amadi, and McLean, but yeah, I think maybe prefer Schubert at 198 centimeters. And this is all coming, assuming that none of the bids for their academy boys comes at pick 9, which probably not expecting anymore. So, yeah.
Yep.
Cool.
Love it. All right. That was brought to you by Get Drafted, Australia's #1 selection for local footy talent.
I've had a few people ask me about Get Drafted.
Yeah.
Because I think some people might think it's just for like, teenagers who are coming through the major pathways and just want a little bit extra help. It's mostly actually local footy players that it works really in favour for. So if you're in your mid-20s,
you want to change your scenery?
Yeah, and you kind of like, I don't know if this is the vibe for me, or I kind of want a different role, or they can help with some stuff outside of footy as well. Give it a look, because that seems to be a lot of great success stories coming from those kind of
It's basically
boys
like
and
LinkedIn for local footy players.
It's a good way to put it.
both boys and girls as well.
Yeah. Love it. All right. There is one more game to go in this season. It's the big one.
Who's playing?
The big dance. I believe the Geelong Cats and the Brisbane Lions.
Damn.
Meow. All right. Where do we start? Let's start with pre-match entertainment? Snoop Doggy Dog.
Bit of gin and juice. I don't know if have we talked about this in Psychopath?
Well,
have we talked about it much?
Snoop Dogg?
Yeah.
No.
No.
I'm kind of glad we haven't. Like,
Yeah.
it's
I'm
just.
not.
I don't think anyone's that excited about it.
I was going to say, I
Not
wonder
the
how
right
he'll go.
vibe.
No, not for an AFL grand
I
final.
don't know if half of his songs he's allowed to sing.
No.
Doesn't make a lot of sense.
I like him, when he's doing like the Olympic commentary and on the.
That guy don't miss. What's that video of that podcast? No, sorry.
No. Yeah, I don't know. I don't. It's a weird. It's gonna be just funny. I like it when one of my favorite things is when the AFL does just have a worlds collide moment with people that you just don't, and you just have no idea how it's gonna go.
Yeah.
Like seeing Snoop Dogg in a AFL Guernsey just feels weird, and I'm down for that. Like seeing Katy Perry flying a giant alien spaceship around the MCG was hilarious. But I think it's just going to be entertaining from a fan point of view just to see the meltdowns in the comment sections.
Yeah, it's just like it's another year of I think the AFL thinking that they're like someone like him is kind of popular at the moment with the kids.
NRL nails their grand final entertainment. They got Teddy Swims, who I think is a bit more appropriate, but they've had like Gang of Youths, just get Australian bands, Australian musicians.
They had
Baker Boy's good.
They had Australian bands 2020.
Yeah,
but they kind of butchered it because like DMA's awesome, like my favorite band, but they had them do a cover of Crowded House. It's a great cover, but like not really like you kind of want them doing their own songs.
Yeah.
They had
also technically a Kiwi band.
We've said this
Neil
before.
Finn.
Crowded House.
Yeah.
But anyway, but like they just did a cover of it wasn't theirs, and I think another band that they had like a medley of 3 or 4 artists. I think Wolf Mother were one of them as well.
Yeah.
They had some good Australian bands, but they just didn't. They didn't prepare it well, and I think they kind of forced them to only do about 2 or 3 songs, and one of them not being their own song.
Yeah.
So
also, I feel like Temper Trap has played like at least 3 or 4 grand finals just for Sweet Disposition.
Like, Robbie Williams the other year was awesome.
Robbie Williams good. Killer's good.
Yeah, that hit the mark.
Yeah.
Killer's good.
Killer's good.
Yeah.
All right, but football.
Well, yeah. I mean, obviously they only played each other 3 weeks ago. Cats got the jump on them. Do a tactical masterclass by Chris Scott. So again, you'd think they come in pretty strong favourites, but you can't discount what Brisbane have done the last fortnight since that loss. Yep. Just dismantled both Gold Coast and Collingwood convincingly, and they've proven they've gotten over the MCG hoodoo, so that doesn't fear them anymore. They've been to the last 2 grand finals. This been the 3rd. So again, they know what to do on this day. They know how to prepare. They've done it obviously so often in recent times. So I think it'll be a lot closer than maybe the bookmakers would have it as.
Closer than 2 weeks ago? 3 weeks ago?
Yeah. I think. So you go.
No, so I was just going to ask from the Geelong perspective, what is the best like narrative? Because I feel like so when he's won it in 22, like it was almost like, Chicago Bulls last dance kind of thing.
Yeah, the Selwood
like
kind
that
of story was pretty, like that goal was like my favorite goal ever.
Yeah.
Kicked.
But now it's only like 3 years on from that. You still kind of have that vibe with like maybe Dangerfield and whatever.
Premiership captain Danger's would be nice.
Yeah.
Could he retire? No, he's got it.
We spoke about this a few weeks ago. I
Deal for next
don't
year.
like.
I don't think he does.
He could,
It'd
but
be
he's got a deal, and I don't know. Maybe he's kind of the guy who just wants to get everything out of his career as he can, like squeeze every little drop. But he could also. I wouldn't be surprised if he's a guy who kind of wants to just call it on the high as well.
But he also, like, that's the thing with Chris Scott. Like, he just manages danger specifically so well because, like, you know, throw him forward for all the year, put him in the midfield and finals.
Yeah,
good to go.
Yeah, there's probably that's probably the lead one. Chris Scott probably getting a third premiership and joining
the elite.
Well,
Hardwick,
Clark makes 4, but Hardwick, and just showing he's up in that standing a little bit more. Obviously, his ability to get a team to finals and even to a prelim is really strong, but it's that last week and a half that has kind of not gone his way in history. The last 1 or 2 weeks in September. Max Holmes are probably deserving given the role he's played this year and in what he had in 2022. Baz Lenka, sure. I feel like there's a couple of guys in the team who you probably feel are like 2 times premiership players, but like you thought they might have been some of the leftovers from the end, but that was really Hawkins and Duncan. There's not really any of those guys left anymore. So like a Blitzarves who is well into his 30s. Stewart would have been a good one, obviously. But yeah, there's
Okay.
there's a few there.
on the Brisbane flip side. You could have Oscar McInerney
That's the best narrative.
and Darcy Ford becoming a 2-time premiership player.
Former Geelong player, Darcy
Former Geelong
Ford.
player as well. You got Ty Gallup, who's played, I think it was his 5th game against Collingwood on the weekend.
Levi Ashcroft in line for his 4th straight flag. He won three with Sandy, which is just unprecedented.
That's crazy.
He just doesn't know how to lose.
He doesn't. I wonder if he won any when he was like 15 as well.
That is like such a weird, like, this is going to be a bit of a tangent, but back in the day when Donald Glover was on the show Community, there was a...
Classic.
So Dan Harmon had a quote about Donald Glover as well. Like because like Donald Glover was just this like force of nature as a young comedian, actor, writer. Like everything he did from the start of his career just turned to gold.
Yeah.
And then Dan Harmon was quoted as saying like, because like Donald Glover was going to leave the show to do Atlanta and everything, which went on to win like, you know, Emmys and stuff. And Dan Harmon was like, he literally doesn't know that he can fail yet. Like it's like everything he does is really good. It's just, he just nails it. And Ashcroft is the same. Like he just doesn't know that you have, like you can lose.
Yeah. So Donald Glover is...
I'm trying to figure out...
Ashcroft is Donald Glover.
Yeah.
There you go.
St Kilda City under-15s boys 2021 lost the grand final, but doesn't tell me if he played or not.
Okay,
but he did win 3 at Sandy before he got drafted.
I think it's still close.
Yeah, 3 at Sandy. Yeah, which is like double bottom major, and he played a pretty good role in the 2022 flag.
Yeah,
sicko. Anyway,
but again, Chris Fagan another flag.
Yeah,
and even more of the oldest premiership.
Does he retire? I mean, or like leave?
Well, he's contracted for a couple more.
Oh yeah, no, he wouldn't. He's he'll stick around for a while, I reckon. Fags.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like
when does he go to Tassie?
Having 2 flags is like that puts him level with Chris Scott.
Yeah.
For flag, like that's. I think there's probably a little bit more respect. He's pretty well loved. I'm not a big Fags guy personally, but he's almost
not a big Fags guy.
I like him.
I'm not saying he's a bad coach.
Yeah.
It's actually the other stuff that I don't like.
Oh, that's fair. Yeah.
No, not necessarily the Hawk stuff. I'm not insinuating that that's actually true or not, but it's actually some of how he deals with people that aren't on his side of the fence.
Okay. Yep.
Like, just watch a presser pretty much every week. And
I just I don't really listen to him speak too often. I just see him just on the sidelines going, yeah. He just looks like he's just an old man. He's just an old man. Yeah. And he looks happy, and that's all I know about him.
No denying that he's a nice guy to a lot of people.
Yeah.
It's just like that maybe 10% that I don't like.
Yeah. No.
Not saying Chris Scott is perfect, given what happened. Given what happened the last couple of weeks, but if
we have to, if we're making heroes and villains and stuff and like outweighing them, I'm still on more Geelong's side of things.
Okay. Interesting.
Just because Dane Zorko plays for Brisbane.
Yeah, it could be another flag there. And looking if he comes back. But nitty gritty stuff on field. So you got the tags that worked last time.
Yep.
The Mullen tag, O'Connor tag, I would say worked, even if Rainer still kicked 3 in that first final.
Yeah. It's like what's different from a couple of weeks ago.
You mentioned Harris Andrews. What do? It worked when Frampton went on him for 3.5 quarters, in the grand final 2 years ago, but then they put Cox on him and it didn't work. Now, obviously, different players. Do Geelong do a Shannon Neal like they did 3 weeks ago, or do they bring in Stanley and, as you said, maybe put Blitzers on him and have another forward option?
Yeah.
What would you like to see from a
Yeah,
Geelong?
I like the Blitzers thing. I don't think Geelong have a forward that they can use as a tagger. Like, you don't use Danger, you don't use Cameron, and you probably don't use Neil. And there's probably no one else tall enough. Jack Martin, maybe. But, like, I don't really like that. I think Blitzers pushing forward, rolling forward might be pretty perfect in that regard. Yeah, I think start with the McCluggage tag and Rayner tags again. Brisbane might try and combat that, but that just means that they're taking more away from their plan still. And if you're the Lions, what do you kind of do in preparation for what might have happened 2 weeks ago with those tags? It's going to be interesting to see how everyone lines up for the opening bounce.
Yeah.
Wouldn't mind seeing their midfield continue the way it is now. I know we've probably spoken about Neil playing and most likely getting picked, but with Bailey going through them more often and Rayner, it does have a different dynamic that's harder to plan against from a Geelong perspective, which clearly they were able to combat very well 3 weeks ago. But I think Bailey showed that he can do it in the front half. It's just as good as anyone in the competition at the moment. In the last couple of finals, Rayner as well had moments where he just popped up and turned the game. And then you got the Ashcrofts and Dunkley and McCluggage as well. So I think it's going to be an enthralling game.
Banger. Just going back to narratives, Jack Martin, premiership player.
Oh, yeah.
Unbelievable narrative. I would love that so much. That's why I think I'm on board with Geelong. All right. Final words?
Yeah. Happy we're playing Brisbane in a way. Like, I'm a lot more confident than what I would have been given what happened a couple of years ago. I would have been more confident against Collingwood, but I would have been more nervous. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, more confident would win, but I'd be shitting myself because it's bloody Collingwood.
Yeah.
And then while the home ground advantage is diluted a little bit over grand final day, Pies fans would have rocked up in their thousands and thousands ahead of Geelong. So, less nervous, more confident. If it was less nervous and less confident this week, but still more confident than what I was a few weeks ago, given how we handled Brisbane.
Last question. Where are we watching it? Are you working it?
Working. Want to try get a
we
seat in the
we
box.
might have some accreditation there, though, so that'll be handy.
Oh, okay.
I'm not being there.
Are you going?
I don't know yet.
Okay.
It's unlikely that I go, even if I get a...
When do tickets go on sale?
I'm not looking to buy a ticket. There's
right.
a chance I get offered one, but I might not take that up anyway.
Okay. And you're working.
Working.
Yeah.
So we'll try and get a seat in the box there. Nestled up the top there.
I've got a couple of options. Might be a barbecue situation at a friend's place or Libba's Pub in Footscray. I can't remember what it's called.
In Ascot Vale.
It's called?
Footscray.
Isn't it in Ascot Vale? Or has he got a couple?
I think he's got a couple.
Yeah.
I thought one was the Ascot.
Something, the Maiden something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Can't remember.
Anyway.
So that might be a good one. But I'll be with my partner who is from New Zealand and I don't think she's ever watched a grand final before. So
Really?
that'll be interesting.
Oh, there you go.
Always adds another fun element.
Seddon? Is it in Seddon?
Seddon.
Mona Castle.
That sounds right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mona Castle.
So yeah, if you see me there, give me a high five. Probably don't talk to me. I'll be not sober.
What are you drinking? You just beers?
I don't know. Well, I'm training for a half marathon, so gin and juice might be the go. Yeah.
Fitting.
I feel like it might have to.
Yeah. But yeah. All right.
Cool.
Done.
What's your tip?
Geelong by 2.
Geelong by 11.
Geelong by 16. Norm Smith. I said Sean Manor early in when we did our brackets. I think I'm going to stick with it.
Okay.
Excellent for me. I said that but earlier as well.
I'm going to go Norm Smith, Baslenka.
I think that's actually good. Like, I think that's a pretty safe.
I think it is safe, and he just draws attention, and I think I would love to see that for the memes.
Cool.
Alrighty. Well, happy good grand final week.
Good grand final week.
And we'll see you in the next one.
7 next week.
Yep.
Yeah.
Love it. Go Cats.
Bye.